The battle over books continues.
Our top priority is ensuring that we have quality relationships with our students, that we have quality texts available to them.
As the Calgary board says it's already looking out for young kids. A massive hike in home insurance rates.
It was a little bit of a shock that it would go up that much.
Why Albertans are paying so much. Heart medication in short supply.
So we do have some choices we can make for most of our patients.
What patients are doing instead.
CTV Calgary, local breaking news with Ian White.
Good afternoon. Alberta's education minister is now sharing a list of schools with books in its libraries that were flagged as inappropriate for students. It comes as the minister faces blowback over his order to remove school library books containing any sexually explicit content. Terry Fikowski is live outside Western Canada High School. And Terry, that's one of the schools that made the list.
Ian, it's one of 28 Calgary public schools that was listed, and it's the first time that we're getting a list of schools that were flagged for having one of 4 books that were deemed to have inappropriate and graphic content by the minister back in May. Now, posting on X, Demetrius Nicolaides says over the last few months, Albertans have asked for proof that these books actually existed in school libraries. He said he didn't want to draw attention to individual schools, but now believes Albertans deserve transparency. In July, he directed school boards to remove books containing sexually explicit content. As a result, Edmonton's public school division came up with 200 books to ban, included from celebrated authors like Margaret Atwood, and that drew criticism from the literary world, librarians, and educators. In addition, the 4 targeted books have LGBTQ+ themes, leading to accusations of discrimination. Now, the minister says he's revising the order to ensure books with pornographic images do not end up in the hands of children. The Calgary Board of Education says there are already processes in place to ensure only developmentally appropriate texts are available to students.
To be clear, there was no single elementary school that had these books. They were all schools that had middle school grades within them. So I think that's important to recognize. That said, it's really easy to engage in all kinds of different debate. Our top priority is ensuring that we have quality relationships with our students, that we have quality texts available to them.
There's no timeline when these new rules will be revealed. The original order wanted the banned books removed by the end of September. In a statement today, though, the education minister says he's working on a new version of the ministerial order and won't be commenting on the specific changes in that order at this time. Ian?
Terry, thank you. Police have released more details on what happened during last week's active shooter situation in Rosedale, and they've charged one woman. Last Thursday, police were trying to track down a man who removed a court-ordered electronic monitoring device. Police issued a shelter-in-place order for the area around Crescent Heights Road Northwest after the man fired shots into a home, unsuccessfully trying to break in. Police say the man and a woman who was with him then broke into a nearby residence. The tactical team arrived, and the man fired shots at the officers. After a standoff where police used tear gas, the man was found dead from a self-inflicted gunshot wound. CTV News has learned the man was Elvis Vukai, who was an MMA fighter in Calgary. Police say the woman who was with him, 32-year-old Monica Gonzalez, is now charged with break and enter. Wildfire smoke has turned Calgary's sky yellow. While our city remains under an air quality warning, it hasn't been as high as yesterday. The air quality index is currently at a 5, and that's considered moderate risk. Environment Canada says for the general population, that means no need to reduce outdoor activities unless you start coughing or have an irritated throat. Strenuous activities should be avoided for high-risk people, including those who are pregnant or have heart and lung conditions. A Calgary respirologist says studies show how serious the wildfire smoke can be for everyone.
We have higher levels of hospital admissions, particularly in people who have those pre-existing conditions like heart disease or lung disease. And actually from large studies, we know that we have more deaths when there's longer periods of high amounts of wildfire smoke in the air.
At the Spruce Meadows Masters, air quality is measured every half hour. If parts per million exceed around 200, it would be unsafe to continue competition. Today, the readings were around 80. A small wildfire is burning in Banff National Park near Wigmore Valley. A backcountry user reported it Tuesday, and the area is now closed. Officials say containment efforts are working, and there's currently no risk to public safety. The fire is 4.5 hectares in size. Danielle, those pictures earlier just told the whole story. You look up and you see that orange orb. It's very sci-fi, very science fiction.
Yeah, it doesn't even seem real.
Yeah.
And it's gross and kind of stinky sometimes.
Yep.
Smells like smoke, all those kinds of things. It will be improving by the weekend, and you'll notice slow improvement as we go. It might get a little worse, though, before it gets better. 23 degrees is the temperature right now. You can see by the live shot behind the temperature here. Yes, it's still smoky. We're more at that moderate level at this point, but we'll pop back up to high likely tomorrow morning. The air quality warning still in place for Calgary and areas to the south because the wind is coming in from the north, so it's funneling it all down, and then the Rocky Mountains are basically acting like a nice little bowl to hold all this in for a little bit longer. All right, your 24-hour forecast brought to you by Fifth Avenue Volkswagen, where you can win your ride. See dealer for details or visit fifthavvw.com. A couple things to point out. Now, we're going to range around moderate. We might bump to that part of the high level of that air quality health index tonight, and tomorrow morning will likely kick off on the high level as another swath rolls in, but it should really start to clear out tomorrow afternoon. But tomorrow, because of the winds out of the north, only a high of 18 expected. More details in your full forecast coming up, Ian.
Thanks, Danielle. Home insurance rates are on the rise, so much so that a Chestermere senior's jaw dropped when he saw his new rate. Stephanie Thomas joins us now from Taradale, a region battered by recent hailstorms. Stephanie, insurance rates are likely on the rise across the board.
Ian, the Insurance Bureau of Canada says that last year was the costliest on record at $8.5 billion in insurable damage. And that's all because of climate disasters. And so now companies are trying to recover their costs by tackling customers. Now, Alberta alone contributed to $4 billion in damage because of the Jasper wildfire and the Calgary hailstorm. For Alvin Phillips in Chestermere, now he says that he was shocked by the amount on his contract renewal from TD Home Insurance. This year's quote is $9,000. Last year, it was $5,300. That's a 70% jump. Now, the monthly premium would be $700. Phillips says he's been a TD insurance customer for 20 years. He made a claim for hail damage and replaced the roof back in 2013, but no other claims.
It was a little bit of a shock that it would go up that much. And then I thought, well, maybe that's the truck too, because I got the truck insured with them, but it's not, it's just the house. So what can you do?
Now, he was told that there was no mistake, but he would be welcome to shop around for other coverage if he wanted to. And brokers we spoke with agree that you can do that for a competitive rate. But they also note that risk has gone up as climate disasters are becoming more frequent and more common. Ian?
Those are some staggering numbers. Thank you, Stephanie. The cost of coffee keeps climbing in Canada, and Calgary roasters and importers are feeling the grind. Local coffee businesses say they've seen upwards of a 100% price increase in the last year. Globally, prices have soared as bad weather hits large producers such as Brazil and Vietnam. Most large coffee companies in Calgary are avoiding U.S. tariffs by getting beans directly from producers, but the import tax is still causing worldwide uncertainty on the market.
It has to be passed along. When we get hit with price increases of 50 to 100% in a matter of 6 months, this isn't something we can absorb. And it happens so quickly that many roasters still today don't know what to do or when they should put up the prices.
According to Statistics Canada, the average consumer price of coffee in Alberta has gone from $6.62 for 340 grams last June to $8.77 this year. Experts say coffee crops damaged by drought and hail take at least a year to recover, and prices will remain high until then. Show jumping isn't the only competition at Spruce Meadows this week. The world's best farriers are hammering it out in the Blacksmith World Championships. 65 competitors from around the world are testing their skills. The championships pit farriers against the clock in events like trimming, shoeing, and forge welding. On Sunday, the winner takes home $75,000 in prize money. Well, it's obvious they're all in great shape. The competition isn't just about strength. It's also about precision, artistry, and keeping a centuries-old craft alive.
You've never seen it before, and you see a horse getting shod with a straight piece of steel. They'll manipulate it, they'll section it, they'll bend it, they'll put the holes in it. Come see, come smell it, come listen to it, come smell it. It's tradition. It's been going on for a thousand years. It's been going on a long time.
The Blacksmith World Championships run through Sunday behind the Equiplex at Spruce Meadows. You'd think that if you had a heart condition, filling your prescription might be pretty important. Coming up, the heart medication in short supply, and why doctors say there are ways to deal with it. And a life-changing trip for a local teen and how it has given her a better understanding of Canada's war efforts. Also, if you have a news tip, text us 10400. A Calgary high school student now has a unique perspective on Canadian military history. Louise Ogbinar is one of 14 Canadian teens to win the Beaverbrook Vimy Prize. It involved a trip to France and Belgium to tour battlefields, monuments, and memorials and get a better understanding of the First and Second World Wars. Ogbinar is a Royal Canadian Sea Cadet and says it's important her generation understands the sacrifice made by so many young Canadian soldiers for our freedom.
It's to make sure that the atrocities, those horrors of the First and Second World War never happen again. We have to remember the past to make the future better and to keep that peace that the soldiers, the nursing sisters, had worked so hard for and sacrificed so much for.
Ogbinar says seeing the Vimy Ridge Battle Memorial was especially powerful. We've posted more information about the Beaverbrook Vimy Prize on our website. She is so incredibly articulate, and she's right about remembering the past. It's so important.
Absolutely.
Okay, we're going to have to be patient when it comes to the smoke around here, right?
And we don't want to remember the past of yesterday and the smoky or this morning. Right? Okay, so here's the deal with the smoke. We're not fully done with it yet. It has improved throughout the day today, for example. We went from high to moderate, but we're likely going to get another big swath of it for tomorrow morning before things really start to make their way out. So there is a lot of smoke in Alberta, and it's going to take some time for it to weed its way out. Okay, we have the air quality statement or air quality warning in place for Calgary's included in this, down through Lethbridge, Brooks, Pincher Creek, Crow's Nest Pass, and up as you can see here. And that's because things have improved off to the southeast, as we talked about. That was in the forecast for it to get a little better here today. But basically, we have all of this pooling in the mountain areas. So further off to the west, it is smokier because we have the air coming down from the north. That's pulling in the smokier conditions, mainly from the fires in the territories. And then the mountains are acting basically like a big bowl, just holding this lovely smoke in for us. All right, so let me show you the wave expected for tomorrow. This is tomorrow morning on your timestamp here. So there you go. It should be quite smoky tomorrow, putting us back up to the high risk part of this air quality health index scale, which you can see at the top right there. And then things will slowly start to improve. But again, it will be a lot of smoke that we need to work out. So it may not be great by the afternoon. We may get all the way down to moderate, which is about a 4, 5, and 6 here on the scale. But that might not happen till later in the day, to be honest. And then we have mainly that in BC as we head through Friday and Saturday. So Friday and Saturday, we should be at that moderate level, so much better air quality in all of southern Alberta expected for Friday and Saturday. All right, Wednesday, you can see as we pass through here, this is the ridge of high pressure that's going to build in, and this is what's going to switch the wind direction for us. So we're no longer going to have these winds driving out of the north. It will be happening off to the east of us, but for us, we're going to get a push out of the south, and that's going to help clean the air a little bit as well. And temperatures will climb, but not quite yet. Tomorrow will maybe even be a little cooler than today, for example. There's a look at radar and satellite. Not a whole lot going on. Small chance of isolated showers early in the morning, but likely we won't see that in the city. 23 has been our high today in the city. Also the current temperature, 24 in Lethbridge right now, 26 in Medicine Hat. Okay, looking at that longer range forecast, air quality health index again will be quite high likely tomorrow morning. We'll probably get to a 9, but then we'll start to improve and get lower, hopefully to moderate later in the day tomorrow. Just a high of 18, and we'll be in those lower 20s for Friday, but for Friday and Saturday, air quality health index around moderate.
Health Canada is warning there's a shortage of the heart medication spironolactone. The drug is supplied by 4 companies nationally. 2 are reporting shortages because of manufacturing disruptions, and a 3rd is reporting a shortage because of increased demand, according to Ottawa. As a result, the drug may not always be available.
Consider that we are using this medication for their heart condition, and there are some alternatives, and sometimes we can use those alternatives very safely, and those are great choices. So we do have some choices we can make for most of our patients, so they are not put at immediate risk. I think that's our biggest concern, is the safety of all of this.
Health Canada says the shortages should resolve by the end of the month. The organization warns against buying unlicensed or unverified products. The Calgary Health Foundation's annual home lottery has a pretty big grand prize. Our first look at the $3.3 million grand prize, a 5,200 square foot home in Bearspaw. The 4-bedroom, 6-bathroom home also comes with $100,000 cash. Other top prizes include a Range Rover, a Mercedes, and a trip to Malta. Also, a $1 million Canmore condo. You can get tickets at calgaryhospitalhomelottery.com. WestJet announces its largest ever purchase of aircraft. Coming up, which aviation company will be profiting off the deal and what the purchase means for WestJet's growth. A major purchase today from WestJet. Joining me is Liana Wachniak, investment advisor with the Popwich Carmeli Advisory Group. And Liana, what happened in the markets today?
Well, it was a bit of an interesting trading day. We saw the Canadian markets really at those record highs again, and that was largely driven by the consumer staples market today. We also saw gold around a record high when it was trading during the trading day. On the U.S. side of the border, it was a little bit of a story where we went in 2 different directions. There were some softer than expected jobs data that came out, which pushed down some of the U.S. indices, but we also saw a news on an antitrust ruling from Google that basically said Google could continue to hold all of its various products and could continue making payments to Apple to remain the default search provider there. That pushed both Google and Apple shares up over 8% today, which really raised a lot of the major U.S. indices.
And here at home, a significant announcement from WestJet placing their largest order ever for airplanes.
That's right. They've ordered 67 new planes from Boeing. That brings their total number of ordered planes outstanding to 123. Now, when you consider the fact that their fleet right now is about 193 strong and they service over 100 destinations with that, that's a huge amount of growth that they're expecting over the next 5 years or so as those planes get delivered. So the CEO of WestJet has said that this is part of their overall growth strategy, but it looks like not only will there be new destinations coming, but also some replacement of their smaller airplanes and older airplanes that are part of their fleet right now.
Liana, thanks for the update.
Thank you.
A major announcement of job losses today in the oil and gas industry. Houston-based ConocoPhillips says it's cutting 25% of its workforce. The company employs 13,000 people worldwide and has its Canadian headquarters in Calgary. ConocoPhillips has operations in Alberta's oil sands and BC, but there's no word yet on how the workers there will be affected. The company is holding an employee town hall meeting tomorrow morning. The Canada Revenue Agency has been given 100 days to make changes. The federal finance minister says it's increasingly apparent the agency is not meeting the reliable and timely service that Canadians expect and deserve. In 2024, the CRA had more than 59,000 employees. Since then, 7,000 people have been laid off. The union says wait times have, quote, exploded to as long as 3.5 hours at its call center, with fewer than 5% of callers actually reaching an agent. Some Albertans are seeing a significant jump in their home insurance rates. Here's Tara Nelson with a look ahead to CTV News at 6.
Hi, Ian. One local senior says he saw a 70% increase in his rate this year. The cost of climate change-driven disasters is being blamed for the increases that many homeowners are seeing. Coming up at 6, some of the ways that you can try to get a better rate. Also ahead, wildfire smoke, you'll have noticed, is turning Calgary's sky yellow today. Coming up, we'll tell you which outdoor events are still going ahead despite the air quality warning in place. Ian.
Thank you, Tara. And perhaps tomorrow we'll get a more unobscured view of the sun. We'll have to see. Right now in Calgary, smoky at 23. Danielle has details just ahead. If we can only just blow this smoke out of here by the weekend, fingers crossed, it will be nice.
We need a lot of hair dryers.
Oh, really?
All stand.
That'll work. Give it a try.
It could work. Guinness Book of World Records type stuff here. Okay, 23 degrees current temperature. Today's high so far. Normal is 19, so we are above normal, even though we have all the smoke and the sun isn't quite reaching the surface here. All right, let's talk about the forecast, because while we went from high to moderate today, we're likely going to be back to high on that air quality health index again for tomorrow morning. So it might be quite yucky out there. Poor air quality tomorrow morning, and then we'll start to improve later in the day. Because it will be so much, it's going to take time to weed out. But Friday, Saturday, we should be at that moderate level, so much better air quality for Friday and Saturday. Looking at that 10-day trend here, just want to show you temperatures. Yes, cold tomorrow at 18, but then we should be in the 20s for the rest of the next 10 days. Ian?
Thank you, Danielle. Some superheroes were spotted scaling the walls of the Alberta Children's Hospital this morning. Window washers dressed up as superheroes brightened the day for families inside. The company behind the initiative wants to remain anonymous. The Children's Hospital says this is a really special day, and they appreciate the excitement these superheroes bring to all the people inside.
There are some people in this building that are probably not having their best day today, and the joy that this brings is just, yeah, you can't put a price on that.
This is the 10th year for the event. Thank you for joining us. Now here's the early edition of the CTV National News.